All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. All right. In this particular video, I want to touch on is there going to be a T attack here on U.S. soil? Now, the reason I'm even bringing this topic up is because, you know, how these Iran and U.S. talks are going right now. They're not going so good. Despite what the news is saying, how the negotiations are going well, the talks are going good right now. No, it's actually not. All right, both sides have red lines that they don't want to be crossed. They have deal breakers, meaning two sides come to negotiate and one side saying we can talk about anything else, but if we talk about this, there's no deal. And the other side saying the same thing. Iran's deal breaker is the nuclear program. They say they can negotiate anything else, but when it comes to the nuclear program, they are not going to talk about that or compromise any of that. You see, and that's exactly what America wants. So really, this whole thing is dead on arrival. And they've been talking, and Iran wants them to stick to their word if they make a deal. So that it'll have to be voted on by the Senate, and a treaty would have to be created. And I remember I heard this heathen say that the Senate will not have a treaty with Iran if your enriched uranium keeps happening, if they keep enriching uranium. And that's one of the things Iran says it's going to keep doing. So this whole thing is dead on arrival. You see? So it's not going so good. And let's say they even do make a deal, right? You have Israel on the other side saying that if Iran doesn't get rid of their whole nuclear program, dismantle the whole thing, and detonate, they use the word explosion, to explode their nuclear sites and stop enriching uranium, get rid of their all of their facilities, then they're going to strike Iran. The only way that they're going to cooperate with this peace deal is if Iran does that. And that's one thing that Iran said it's not going to do. So now you have Benjamin Netanyahu saying what? That he's poised to strike Iran. And you have them saying the only reason that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons today is because they struck them. Israel struck Iran 10 years ago. So, hey, they're basically telling you that they are going to strike Iran if this deal is not the way that they want it to be. And I remember in President Trump's last term, when he backed out of the Iranian nuclear deal, you know, his last term, that's what he did. But he killed one of their top generals. And I remember the president of Iran at that time saying, we are closer to you than you think, alluding to sleeper cells here in the United States, right? So now I want to play this video from 5 years ago where it says Iran plotting a sneak attack inside the U.S. Former congressman says sleeper agents are already here. You see? So I want you to hear him say it, you know, former congressman. And also they've been talking about getting rid of Iran's nuclear programs, man. You're going to hear it. But the precept that comes to mind is 2 Ezra 15 and 33. And we read, it says, and from the land of the Assyrians, which this is talking about America, shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. So these Ishmaelites or these Iranian sleeper cells, some way can come over here in America, or when they get access to America, which they already are here. 5 years ago, it was already said that they already are here. And not just that, the border was just wide open last year to where it was thousands upon thousands of people pouring in at the Mexico border, the U.S.-Mexico border, every day. Chinese, Arabian, they even have an Arabian or Ishmaelite one, not a Ishmaelite, Iranian saying what? He says, I'm not one of those people, trust me. And real soon you're going to know my name. This is what he said to one of the Americans. One of the Americans said, "You just gonna come here and freeload." Basically, had that type of energy while he was talking to him. He was like, "Trust me, I'm not one of those people. Soon you're gonna know my name." So I saw that with my own eyes. So we have sleeper cells here, and as you see, it says they shall besiege them. Right? It says, and consume some of them. An attack be made, and people die here. Right? It says, and their host shall be. It's like, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Have the people scrambling, have the king scrambling, an attack that's going to shake the United States. You see that? So, you know, if these talks don't go well, this could be a future thing right here. You know, an attack going on because of these talks ain't going right. Because don't forget, if the attacks don't go right, then the U.S. and Israel are going to make a joint attack over there. And then basically it's all out war. You know, they're going to have a joint attack to Iran's nuclear sites. Iran is going to attack Israel back. And then things can spiral out of control right there. And Iran can give the word to his sleeper cells over here to, hey, do what y'all do. You know, whatever thing they got planned. You see? And that right there can cause, boom, straight lockdown here in America. You know, straight lockdown. Then they can start persecuting us off of that. You know? Don't be surprised if something like this happens, or when something like this happens. Not if, when something like this happens. This extra over-the-top patriotic spirit comes out of these normal everyday Edomites. Now they ain't trying to hear nothing about equality and all of that. You know, Esau has got back into his ancient sword mode when, you know, when they was doing Manifest Destiny. You know, when Esau used to be in that spirit of conquering. You know, Esau will be put back in that type of spirit because he will feel like his sovereignty is being threatened. Like shit being taken over. So don't be surprised if these normal day Edomites, everyday Edomites start turning up, extra patriotic and shit like that. Hey, they can use this time to start calling us terrorists and things like this and persecute, you know, the men of the Lord. Now, this is just, you know, thoughts I was having, you know, and I want to play this video right quick, and we're going to exit the video. I know I was rambling, Salakia, but them just avenues, you know, that I was thinking about that Esau could take, you know, pursuant to the precept, you know, they shall besiege the land of Assyria, which is America, and consume some of them. That's a T attack. And the host shall be in fear and dread, and, you know, their kings in strife. You know, you got United States shook. Certain things being now implemented, you know, to stop a T attack from happening again. And it could be a total lockdown over here in the United States. You know, there could be an insurrection act being implemented. Now, brothers can't hit the highways and byways no more. Because the insurrection act talks about, you know, you can't really protest. You can't gang up and protest. So, hey, brothers meeting to preach the word on the highways and byways, boom, that'll be over with. We just have to go to the internet. And eventually, you know, we'll be off of the internet, family of the word. But that's neither here nor there on how on which way it's going to happen. But, you know, I just want to bring this up, you know, just, you know, to expose an avenue that Esau could take.
Iran has struck back at the United States after the killing of General Qasem Soleimani. The Islamic Republic launched a limited missile strike against 2 U.S. military bases in Iraq. No Americans were killed, and U.S. officials say Americans are still in danger. But how likely is a terrorist attack from Iranian sleeper agents right here on our home front? Are they already here in the United States? Could they sneak across the border? Earlier, I talked with former Colorado Congressman Tom Tancredo. Mr. Tancredo is an advisory board member of We Build the Wall. Congressman, thank you for joining us. So, how secure are our borders, Canada and Mexico? And could Iranian agents get in to attack us? How great is the threat?
Well, they are not secure, and Iranian agents can get in, and in fact have gotten in over the course of the last decade or two. Soleimani who we all know now as the head of the, among other things, the Quds forces in Iran. Quds force is a sort of extra military and in charge of clandestine operations all over the world. And we all know, we've heard about all of the atrocities that they have committed and under his direction against American soldiers and personnel overseas. But something that's been lost, I think, in the discussion perhaps, is the fact that in 2011, the Quds forces under Soleimani contacted and made arrangements with, essentially got a contract with the Los Zetas, which is a cartel, major cartel in Mexico, and a very violent group. And the purpose was to help them smuggle people into the United States, which they did, and to perpetrate an act of terror in Washington, D.C., which they did. They actually set off a bomb at a restaurant and killed a Saudi diplomat in Washington, D.C. They had plans to do other things there, other embassies there, and actually in other countries. That happened under the direction of Soleimani, and that was 2011. Believe me, they have been working hard ever since then to get more people into the United States. Indeed, there may very well be sleeper cells here who could be activated to do the horrible things, certainly. They will pay up to $50,000 to a Mexican cartel in order to transport certain people into the United States. $50,000. You know, when I think it was one of the mullahs said that they have 21 targets in the United States, and the president said, well, that's good. I have 52 in Iran. I assure you that they have to begin thinking about if they do something, you know, what will be the reaction, and are they willing to pay the price? Price would be, of course, to take out their nuclear facilities, to take out the...
You see, they've been talking about that. This is 5 years ago. Come on.
Production of their ability to produce gasoline, the refineries. There are all kinds of things that you can do that are far short of having boots on the ground, which we are never going to do, but will certainly paralyze Iran.
And if they're working with these drug cartels in Mexico, what do we do to prevent that and prevent them from getting in?
This is a private organization called WeBuildTheWall.us. You should go there. Everybody should go there and look at what we've been able to accomplish and what we're still working on right now. But we're only a small part of what should be done. We do not have the resources to build the wall on the entire 1,900 miles of border.
But, right, that's the point. Yeah, you heard it. Former congressman saying that there's sleeper agents already here. And they already did an attack and killed somebody over here on U.S. soil. But that didn't really shake everybody. That's not the attack that's going to happen in the future. You know, the attack that's going to happen in the future is going to shake America. And also, the people are going to be in fear too and dread. The population is going to be in fear as well. So, hey, if these talks don't go good, we can be looking at a T attack here on the U.S. soil, you know. But I hope this was edifying. Hope you could take something from it with that. Shalom.